I think we're all really looking forward to it, and I think our supporters are looking forward to it. The players are looking forward to it. I hear about tens of thousands of people coming across this game in Paris. It's brilliant. We're here in Paris. The first time the England team's got here through this tournament. I think there's a special atmosphere. There's a special feeling around being in Paris ahead of this semi-final. What we've concentrated very much upon us. It's what we've done every single week. How do we develop and how do we progress as a team? And I think that's the central thing. I think this team has progressed through each week we've had through this tournament. We've built and we've built and we've built. And whatever situation the players have found themselves in the game, is the players have found a way to get the result they want at the end of it. And we know this weekend's going to be is different. Every game is different. But I also know we've got a great group of players who care deeply about representing England and want to make sure they put in a performance they're all proud of and our supporters are proud of on Saturday night.
Was Marcus Smith fit and available, or was that decision made for you by the HIA?
No, Marcus was unavailable for selection due to the return to play protocol.
And George Martin, what qualities does he bring? You know him very well.
Yeah. I've known him for a few years now, from a very young man to seeing somebody now who looks at home on the international stage. He's come onto the pitch as second row and six in this tournament. He's started a game earlier in the tournament in the pool stages, and every minute he's been on the field he has performed, and he's performed in some big moments as well, as I'm sure you relate, at key moments for the team. He's a young man who just embraces getting onto the pitch and giving everything he can for the team. A real team man.
Is he a big hitter? Does he embrace the physicality?
I think the players across the board understand that that's the nature of international rugby. It's a physical game, and we play against the number one side in the world this weekend. And we know that the intensity of this test match is going to be incredible. And I think that's why we're looking forward to it, and all our supporters are looking forward to it. Yeah. So I think that South Africa pose a great deal of questions in the game, a great deal of challenges, as you'd expect from the number one side in the world. I think they've got that traditional power, set-piece power that they've had for a long time. I think then their contestable kicking game is another great strength of theirs, and I think one thing they've laid to their game over this last 4 years has been their ball movement and to the speed they have on the edges. Now, you know that we're going to have to combat those things to make this a contest. They impose that upon the opposition, and then they also have a squad that is jam-packed full of power and size, so that you know that they've got a good team to start, and they've got players coming onto the bench who are very strong. I also think we've got a pretty strong team as well. I think we've got a pretty strong bench. We know it's a fantastic challenge against the number one side in the world. I think it's a challenge we're eager to get into. I think we've got three brilliant loose heads in here in this squad. I think Ellis has been terrific, and I thought he played really well last week. I think Joe, coming back into the squad after some time away, has been also an incredible influence around the group. And we've got Bevan Rod, who's a younger player, but I would have no hesitation in Bevan being in the 23 this weekend. So it's a real competitive position. Going back to the previous question, for me it's always about the balance of who's to start and who's to finish, and understanding that we need an 80-minute performance. The start's crucial, the end is vital, and we understand that. And I think I'll say our bench, the performance of our bench through this tournament has been very, very good.
What I don't understand though is why you would necessarily start with Joe ahead of Ellis this weekend. Is Joe a better scrummager? Does Ellis offer more in the final quarter, as you call it? Give us an insight into that as much as you can. Yeah,
and I think both of these players are top quality scrummagers, and I think that's really important given the strength of the South African scrum. We know that they're rated as the best scrum in the world. Every piece of information has them as the best scrum in the world. So we know that we're going to need to scrum well throughout the game. and I felt not just at the loose head, but understanding the combinations of the two sets of front row forwards that we have. I think that's also important. As I say, I thought Ellis was terrific last week. I think that Joe to start and Ellis to finish is the right combination this week.
Great, thank you.
Hi, Steve. Could you just explain to us what happened with Marcus over the last few days? Was he ruled out yesterday, or was it earlier than that?
It was earlier. It was earlier in the week. He took the knock in the game, as you're well aware. He passed the first parts of the HIA process, which meant he finished the game, and then the subsequent parts of the HIA process, and one part of that he did not pass, and then it was confirmed to me he was unavailable for selection, and yeah.
Is he okay? Like, he's obviously disappointed to miss such a big game.
He's perfectly fine in terms of symptoms, and he doesn't feel anything, and to understand we'd expect him to be available for selection after this weekend. So my first game coaching Leicester was going through the selection process, and this young man, Freddie Steward, that I'd not known a huge amount before, but I'd known him from England under-20s, and he was new to the squad. I think he's just from school and out of the academy, and they come into the first game, and I'm deciding who to play at 15, and I didn't pick him, and post-game, and I reflected on that selection process, as I said I do whenever I go through the rigour of the selection, and I thought to myself, it's a game, he's ready for this. And I watched his face when I told him he wasn't picked in that game in 2020, and I thought, this guy wants the challenge, this guy wants him, he's ready for it. Doesn't matter how old he is, he's ready for it. And straight away the next week I put him in, and from that point on he has just been brilliant. Everything that's been challenged to him, everything you ask him to get better at, he goes and gets better at. You saw him today. You'd have seen him straight back out on that field trying to improve right from the start of the session, even before the session. He's working hard to improve as a player, always is, and that's great credit to him and his professionalism.
This feels like a new challenge. This feels like a new opportunity. As you said, in 4 years, a lot happens in rugby. A lot happens in a week here. So we're excited at the opportunity that's in front of us. We feel like we've obviously changed as a team. I imagine South Africa feel like they've changed over 4 years as well. So we understand what task is in front of us, what a good team we're playing against, what a well-drilled team playing against. But we're excited to get out there on the field on Saturday.